Stephen Trauth is an accomplished West Point graduate and retired lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army, who now serves as a systems engineer. His career success, character, strong sense of morals, and intelligence have helped him earn a place in the Rittner Hall of Fame. In his Rittner days, Trauth was a 3-time state wrestling champion and the first Missouri wrestler to become a Scholastic Wrestling News All-American. After graduating in 1970, he continued wrestling at West Point and graduated in the top 10% of his class. In 2013, he was inducted into the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. Trauth served 20 years as an Army officer. While in the military, he demonstrated that he was a man of many talents and passions. He served as an airborne ranger, West Point physical education instructor, varsity athletics coach, physical trainer for the USA Special Olympics team, and intelligence officer in assignments around the world. Throughout his career, he has received many awards, including the Joint Concept Technology Demonstration of the Year and the Legion of Merit Award. Trauth was also a local and regional leader for Officers Christian Fellowship. Since his retirement, he has been a military consultant and systems engineer at Assurance Technology Corporation. He has received several accolades from military commanders and the Department of Defense for his contribution to our nation's military capabilities. Trauth's genuine demeanor and loyalty have earned him lifelong friendships and respect in his career and community. Early in his Rittner career, it was obvious that Stephen Trauth was destined for greatness, and his leadership and service to our country have led him to become a Rittner Hall of Fame member.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome our next inductee, Mr. Stephen Trauth.
Thank you. I want to begin by thanking Lee Inger for my nomination. And I want to say, Lee, I'm doubly honored and humbled to be inducted alongside a true Rittner legend such as yourself. I also want to thank the Hall of Fame Committee for their many efforts to make this ceremony this evening and this weekend's events very memorable. You know, one of the advantages of receiving an honor like this at the age of 62 is that you have perspective. My perspective is that I'm here tonight because God has richly blessed me throughout my life. And those blessings have come in the form of family, friends, and people within the Rittner community who gave unselfishly to me as I was growing up. You mentioned in your award the topic of service. And the significance of this award is so much greater to me because it comes from you, a community who values service over yourself, and who demonstrate that through your daily lives. Who I am and what I've done as a result of you and other people like you in my life. And I'd like to thank you tonight by describing for you my Hall of Fame of service. First, I owe my parents, Richard and Norma Trauth, a great debt of gratitude for all they've done for me, their love, discipline, wisdom, and sacrifice as I was growing up. Your Christian walk demonstrated to me the importance of God in a successful life, and it taught me that real success is not only measured in human accomplishment. YMCA, Boy Scouts, youth wrestling, AAU, swimming, baseball, gymnastics, judo, and 100 other activities have developed my knowledge and my character. As a parent myself now, I can appreciate all the time, money, physical and emotional effort that went into that investment. And I thank you for the love that was required for those sacrifices, Mom and Dad. I also want to thank my sisters who have always been my built-in cheering squad and continue to be so. Although they suffered in their younger years from my guidance as an older brother, they still love me and support me today, and I thank them for it. Next, I owe a special thanks to my beautiful wife, Heidi, and our children. She's not here tonight because she fell ill this morning, but I told her that 37 years of marriage and all of the love and support she's given to me over that time was extraordinary. And she really is the wind beneath my wings. On our wedding announcement, she wrote, "Whither thou goest, I will go." That was in anticipation of a military life. I don't think she realized at the time that that meant 10 moves in 17 years worldwide. And so she served as an Army wife as much as I did as an Army officer. She also gave us 3 beautiful children, Kurt, Heather, and Eric. Heather's here this evening, and what a blessing they've been in my life, and what a joy to see them grow into godly adults. And now I'm grandpa, so thank you very much for showing me the richness of family love through all these years. Now there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother, and that scripture describes my best friend, John Downs. I met John in 9th grade here at Rittner, and we quickly became and remain today best friends. From John and his family, I learned to appreciate a dry wit, the love of a second family, and loyalty. So thank you, John, for being a true friend, something that is indeed very rare. Now, especially tonight, I want to thank 3 people that were important to me in my Rittner upbringing. There's a legendary family of wrestlers in this Hall of Fame named Grubbs. One of those wrestlers, Jack Grubbs, was my youth wrestling coach at the YMCA for 5 years. He taught me old school wrestling as the foundation for my high school years. And I thank you, Jack, for teaching me to be tough and how to win. Coach Ray Doney. In its own right, Ray Doney's excellence in coaching is well known to this group. He provided the goal setting, disciplines, and skills without which I would not have had the success I did in high school. However, more than these, I remember his personal interest in each one of us, both on and off the mat. He taught me that as far as leadership goes, inspiration is as important as perspiration in getting those you want to follow you. And it was Ray Doney's leadership in those days that was key to our close-knit teams and our success. So thanks, Coach, for caring for us as people as much as for wrestlers. And finally, Miss Mary Ray, my math teacher in the class of calculus. When I was in her class, Miss Ray was older than most teachers here at Rittner, probably in her 70s. Most did not know when she began teaching at Rittner, perhaps believing that she had begun before written records were kept. She was a hard grader and was not well liked. She certainly was known as a dedicated teacher, but how dedicated I didn't know until one particular day. She typically was very prompt, and one day she came in 20 minutes late. It was a wintry day, and she had a large patch of gauze on her forehead. She had hit a patch of ice out here in front of the high school, rolled her car, and had crawled out of the window in order to escape. After treatment by a fireman, she gathered her teaching materials and walked into school. When she arrived in class, she chastised us for not having begun, under our own initiative, a review until she arrived. So thanks, Miss Ray, for teaching me high standards, perseverance, and your selfless dedication to education. Finally, I'd like to honor our men and women in the armed forces. I had the privilege of serving with wonderful servicemen and women on active duty for 20 years. In those days, the primary threat to our country was a nuclear-armed Russia, our Soviet Union, out their communist allies. Today, our service members face an equally cruel and godless enemy, and they deploy for years at a time, separated from family, risking life and limb to keep the wolf away from our front door. Today, however, we also face an internal threat that did not exist in my time. This is the belief in some Americans that we can turn our backs on the one true God who established this country, and that we can remove him from our public square. Also, that we can coexist with radical ideologies that are thinly disguised as religion. And even, somehow, that the form of government that our servicemen and women have defended for over 200 years now needs to be changed. These ideas are antithetical to the very foundations of our America. If the sacrifices of our servicemen and women are worthy, then we should honor them. Certainly we should do this on an individual basis whenever we have a chance. But as a corporate body, we should, of those who are protected, we should stand and be equally vigilant here at home and stand equally bravely to defend those principles that they put their lives on to defend worldwide. So you can see that indeed I have been truly blessed in my life by these and many others. In conclusion, I want to encourage those teachers, coaches, and administrators who are here this evening to continue in the service that you do so well. Because the investment that you make in the young people of this day will reap multiple benefits in the future. And some of them will learn the value of service and will return to thank you. And I do thank you.
Congratulations to 2014 Ritter Hall of Fame inductee, Mr. Stephen Trauth. Presenting the award to Mr. Trauth tonight is his daughter, Heather Tarticchio. Would you come forward, please, Heather, and help us on stage?